Welcome to the Randy Report. I'm Randy Slavacek, your host. I'm also the writer and editor of therandyreport.com, where you can find me every single day on the internet reporting on the daily news cycle in terms of politics, pop culture, and entertainment news of interest to the LGBTQ community and its allies. In this week's headlines, an appeals court has ruled West Texas A&M University's ban on drag shows is unconstitutional. The Florida Department of Transportation erased the Pulse Nightclub memorial crosswalk in the middle of the night. A trans woman has been found guilty of sexual assault after not revealing her gender identity to a male sex partner. And the new Netflix series Boots is an offbeat comedic drama series following a closeted young man and his best friend through U.S. Marines boot camp. All that and more in this episode of The Randy Report. In a victory for student expression on campus, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit has ruled that a ban on student drag performances at West Texas A&M University is most likely unconstitutional. In March 2023, the university's president, Walter Windler, announced that he was unilaterally canceling a planned campus drag show hosted by LGBTQ organization Spectrum WT to raise money for suicide prevention. In a campus-wide email, Windler said he was canceling the event because he believes drag offends and demeans women. As a public official at a state university, the First Amendment bars Windler from censoring a performance based on nothing more than his personal disapproval. Windler admitted he was canceling the show, even though, quote, the law of the land appears to require him to allow it. The Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, also known as FIRE, quickly jumped into action, filing a lawsuit against Windler and the university on behalf of Spectrum WT. FIRE's lawsuit seeks to halt Windler's unlawful censorship and obtain damages for violating the student's clearly established First Amendment rights. In September 2023, a district court denied FIRE's motion for a preliminary injunction. While the case was still pending, Windler canceled Spectrum WT's second drag show in March 2024. But last week's ruling from the Fifth Circuit Appeals Court overturned the district court's ruling and placed a temporary hold on Windler's enforcement of his illegal directive. This will allow Spectrum WT and other student organizations to put on drag shows while litigation continues. The majority of judges on the appeals court panel found a substantial likelihood that Spectrum WT's First Amendment claims would prevail on the merits because, quote, theatrical performances plainly involve expressive conduct within the protection of the First Amendment, and because we find the plaintiff's drag show is protected expression, end quote. Last week, crews from the Florida Department of Transportation painted over the Pulse Memorial Rainbow Crosswalk in Orlando in the middle of the night. Created in 2017, the Orlando City Council unanimously approved the Memorial Crosswalk. The Rainbow Crosswalk was a symbol of queer resilience after the deadly 2016 nightclub massacre that left 49 people fatally shot in what was at the time the largest mass shooting in the country. The erasure is due to a new directive from Donald Trump's homophobic transportation secretary, Sean Duffy, about roadway safety that stressed, quote, consistent roadway markings that are free from distractions. But what this is really about is trying to erase LGBTQ people. It's worth noting that the state had previously approved the rainbow design, which was fully compliant with national safety standards. Research shows that colorful crosswalks actually improve pedestrian safety. A 2022 study by Bloomberg Philanthropies analyzed traffic crash data at 17 different locations, including 7 in South Florida. The analysis found significantly improved safety performance across various measures during periods when asphalt art was installed, including a 50% decrease in crashes involving pedestrians. Over the past weekend, residents restored the rainbow colors, but late Sunday night, the Transportation Department again repainted the crosswalk black and white. Additionally, it now appears that police are monitoring the site. A jury in the UK has found a trans woman guilty of 3 counts of sexual assault for not revealing her gender identity to a man before getting physically intimate with him. While Clara Watkin, 21 years old, has reportedly gone by the name Clara since age 13, she hasn't undergone any gender-affirming treatments or surgeries. Watkin and her sexual partner met on the messaging app Snapchat, where Watkin's profile picture displayed an image of a female cartoon character. When they met in person, she told him she was on her period so that he wouldn't touch her below the waist. At some point, though, they did go on to have sexual contact. Watkin's sexual partner contacted police after she revealed her gender identity to him later via text message. So, since he still didn't know until that text message, it's pretty safe to say the sexual contact was pretty tame. He told police, quote, "I wouldn't have met her because I don't swing that way," end quote. When questioned by police, Watkins said she didn't reveal her gender identity beforehand because it's been difficult for her to find relationships. According to Watkins' attorney, she and the sexual partner apparently spent a good deal of time together before becoming intimate. During the trial, her lawyer told the jury it beggars belief that he didn't realize Watkins' trans identity because her voice and appearance should have made her identity, quote, blindingly obvious. He also argued that the man only contacted the police after being mocked by his friends, saying, quote, "It's clear the reaction of his mates is the most concerning thing to him," end quote. Watkin now faces possible jail time and will be required to register as a sex offender. What to watch? Netflix's upcoming comedic drama series, Boots, centers on Cameron Cope, played by Miles Heiser, and his best friend Ray McCaffrey, played by Liam O, navigating Marine Corps boot camp's tough and volatile environment in the 1990s. Cameron, who's closeted, joins a diverse group of recruits who try to do their best while serving the Marines. The series, set in the 1990s, when it was still illegal to be gay in the military, is a TV adaptation of The Pink Marine, a memoir by former U.S. Marine Greg Cope White. Netflix describes Boots as an irreverent, offbeat coming-of-age story all about friendship, resilience, and finding your place in the world, even when that world seems determined to keep you in line or leave you behind. Before enlisting, Cameron lives in a chaotic home with his narcissistic mother, Barbara, who's described as a chameleon and someone who's always on the run due to the consequences of her actions. But she becomes unmoored when Cameron ships out. Ray, the son of a strict Marine father, is Cameron's closest and most loyal best friend. His character carries the pressure of having to be the best at all times, but that becomes a bit harder once he actually gets to boot camp. Max Parker plays Sergeant Sullivan, the consummate elite recon Marine. He's been decorated for valor on numerous top-secret missions, but struggles to keep his own secret hidden. Haunted by his past, Sullivan sees himself in Cameron and tries to prepare him for the same personal war he'll face beyond boot camp. Together, the show's ensemble navigates the literal and metaphorical landmines of boot camp, forging unlikely bonds and discovering their true selves in an environment designed to push them to their limits. TV legend Norman Lear acted as an executive producer on the show before his passing in 2023. Boots premieres on October 9th on Netflix. And that brings me to the end of this episode of The Randy Report. If you enjoy catching up on LGBTQ news in a quick podcast, I'd appreciate it if you'd recommend it to your friends. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to make sure you never miss an episode. I like to think of The Randy Report as the 60 minutes of gay news, only shorter. And remember, you can find me every single day on the internet at therandyreport.com, where I cover the daily news cycle in terms of politics, pop culture, and entertainment news of interest to the LGBTQ community and its allies. Thanks for listening, folks. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.